Good morning, everyone. I came up on this from the Zionica Christian news site, and actually the rest of the story goes on over to the American Thinker, so I'm going to go over there. Okay, this article actually, well, I was shocked, dismayed, and I kind of, well, when I read this, they're more out in the open with it now. So I don't know how you will react to it, but I'm going to read to you what it says. Obama is behind this, and he has chosen someone as the Jewish Outreach Director for his anti-Christian hate propaganda. Okay? And so I'm kind of suspicious that there's something more behind this, but it'll come out in some way. So what it's about is it talks about the National Jewish Democratic Council, the NJDC. It recently announced that Barack Obama had named its former executive director, Ira Forman, as his Jewish Outreach Director. Mr. Forman tenure at the NJDC includes the publication of anti-Christian hate material under the color of Judaism, which could easily evoke reciprocal ill feelings from Christians who do not realize that NJDC has almost as little to do with Judaism as the Westboro Baptist Church has to do with Christianity. Now, the NJDC's Bubby versus the GOP cartoon videos for the 2004 election, which Mr. Forman commissioned personally, include scenes of Republicans sewing a cross into the blue field of the American flag, along with a cobble of red-robed Republicans around a lectern with a cross on its front. Depictions of the cross, along with Christian ministers and Jesus in a "This is the Enemy" contest, makes the video a form of anti-Christian hate media, just as depiction of the Star of David is in the indicated context of flag Kabbalah. A Kabul, which would be anti-Semitic. And the movies are no longer available, but the PDF summaries are available by clicking on the link here, it says. And while we have the offending screenshots on file, and here's one of them where the title is "The National Jewish Democratic Council on How the Christians Are Taking Over America." And I'll leave the link to this article, and you can view this yourself if you choose to. Like I said, I was well, I've seen things like this, but this is a little different. And this is how they feel, about Christians. And it said in the end times that we would be hated and we would be persecuted, and that day is here. The NJDC on Mr. Forman's watch also smeared the Christian computer game Left Behind, the Eternal Forces, by saying falsely that it encouraged the player to kill everybody who will not convert to Christianity. And And that's a big slam right there. The Anti-Defamation League did not like the game's exclusionary Christian emphasis, but added, "The game is designed to make force an option only used by players if necessary when their forces are attacked by those hunting them, and any characters that kill others in the game are penalized. Conversion to Christianity in the game is not depicted as a forcible in nature, and violence is not rewarded in the game." Yeah, so they're giving every negative view of Christianity, give everyone else a negative view of Christianity. And yeah, well, it goes on to say here, here's another image. This is the image that we talked about early, about them in red, looks like red satanic robes, and in the center here the face is blocked out, looks like Satan, and with the cross there at the altar, and you see these familiar faces here. And the double standards are routine to the NJDC and Mr. Forman, who in 2007 condemned Mitt Romney for appearing at the Henry Ford Museum. Mitt Romney's embrace of Henry Ford and the association of Ford's legacy with his presidential campaign raised serious questions about either the sincerity of Romney's words or his understanding of basic American history, Forman said, regarding Ford's publication of the anti-Semitic material that he later retracted and reputed. Mr. Forman and NJDC were therefore urged to call Mitt Romney out of associating with a long-dead ex-Semite, but they were nowhere to be seen or heard when Mr. Obama and the other Democrats posed arm in arm with a live and unrepentant one, Al Sharpton, in 2007. And the book that they were referring to that Henry Ford had written was called The International Jew, and that's what they didn't like. Anyone that's associated or and it was true history, and it was actual history, so it seems to me like that they just don't like true actual history, American history. And the National Jewish Democratic Council, therefore, has its own long track record of falsehoods, and to use its favorite accusation against others as smears. And it acquired most of its track record on Mr. Forman's watch. The history of Mr. Obama's new Jewish Outreach Coordinator must therefore be made very clear to Jewish voters as frequently as possible before the next year's election. So you see, the Obama is well, actually, that's who puts the president, the new candidates in office. So now we know who really pulls the strings. As a side note, Mr. Forman just went on record as saying that Barack Obama deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize had become a sick joke during the past years, noting that the committee passed over Irina Sendler, a Pole who risked her life to save more than 2,500 Jews from the Nazis in favor of a self-serving and self-enriching global warming charlatan, Al Gore. In NJDC naturally gave this a pass as well. After all, what has Irina Sendler done for the Democratic left lately, if ever? Next we come to Eric Yoffe of the Union for Reform Judaism, or at least what Mr. Rafi calls Reform Judaism. It comes across to us as the DNC and or the Brady campaign with Jewish holidays. Mr. Yoffe came to our attention most recently for his denunciation of Glenn Beck. And the reference paraphrases Yoffe as saying, "The opponent has expressed himself hatefully and rudely against President Obama, who is Israel's important and faithful ally. Is a faithful ally what Mr. Rafi calls an individual who presses Israel to reward terroristic violence with land concessions, and who equates Israeli civilians murdered by terrorists to Palestinian civilians who become collateral damage when terrorists use them as body shields?" And that's true. You can look that up on the web as well. It's been known that Israeli soldiers have used Palestinian children as human shields. And you see this here, a poster saying, "Visit Israel after the rapture." And this is from the screenshot from NJDS's Bubby versus the GOP. And there's just some, let me see, just another shot that they use on their website. You can read the rest if you want. It goes on to tell about Mr. Rafi and his interpretation of political Judaism, and it goes on about 9/11, and mentions something about the NRA, and it says that Mr. Rafi refers to guns as idols, and had he been in charge of the Jewish people in ancient times, we included Christians because the founder of Christianity was a Jew, and it was referring to Jesus, would all be worshipping honest to Zeus idols, because of the Maccabees would have had no swords. If we had been in charge of Israel in 1948, the region would have become Judean reign within a week, because the Jews would have had no guns. And Mr. Yoffe and Mr. Forman had the First Amendment right to express political opinions, no matter how disagreeable. They do not, however, have the right to associate these views with the Jewish religion, and it's both right and duty of the Jewish voters to denounce them whenever they seek to do so. Well, that's the end of the article. I'll leave the link to this, and yeah, I was kind of floored when they're coming more out in the open with this. So y'all take care. God bless you all. Jesus loves you, and until next time, bye bye.